my goodness. Is it true that Lucasfilm just made a good casting decision? You know, the sequel trilogy really did some damage to the Star Wars IP, but you can definitely salvage what comes after them with good casting like this. I'm so excited if this is true. Let's break it down. It's been a big week for Star Wars movie updates, and following the rumour that Jodie Comer might be returning for the Shawn Levy movie, today we have even more information. This movie is the next one to go into production. The Mandalorian and Grogu is first, that's the next one to release in cinemas in May 2026, but after that, it's the Shawn Levy movie, which we know very little about. According to a new report, and this is massive, Lucasfilm has been in talks with Breaking Bad star Jesse Plemons to play the main villain of the movie. I think this is a very wise casting choice. Plemons has been absolutely killing it with his recent projects. Civil War was iconic, but I really enjoyed 0 Day. That's the one with Robert De Niro. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Plemons was originally slated to appear in The Force Awakens. There isn't too much information made public about that, but he was one of the original selections to play Armitage Hux. And you know, while I can see that working, I'm really glad they went for Donald Gleason. But for an upcoming movie, I think Plemons would be perfect to be a Star Wars villain. This is the same movie that's going to feature Ryan Gosling. Now, in terms of Plemons' schedule, it's pretty full on. He is slated to be in the next Hunger Games, which is filming later this year. And if that's the case, then the original reports that the Shawn Levy movie is going to film this fall might not be accurate. They might push it to next year. Nonetheless, it's the priority for Lucasfilm after The Mandalorian and Grogu. Another thing fans have pointed out is that Plemons has really slimmed down and buffed up. Is he preparing to play, I don't know, maybe a Sith cultist, another dark side faction? It depends on when this is set. If it is pre-Force Awakens, there are so many dark side force groups we know about, and many which we don't. If it's post-Episode 9, which to me is far more interesting, then the possibilities are truly endless. Because at the moment we don't have any information, no canon info, on the kinds of forces Rey has to deal with. Who is going to try and stop her Jedi temple? Who is going to rise in the ashes of the deceased cloned Emperor? I'll be honest, my dear friends, I would be so happy if this was true. Plemons is very famous for his roles in Civil War, Black Mirror, Love and Death, and Kinds of Kindness. But I would argue his most complex and best role is Todd in Breaking Bad. If he does join the Star Wars universe, he will be the second Breaking Bad villain to do so, following in the footsteps of Giancarlo Esposito, the one and only Moff Gideon. When it comes to crafting a truly memorable Star Wars villain, there's certain criteria actors have to possess. It's a rare combination of charisma, subtlety, and a deep understanding of complex moral ambiguity. I would say the burden for the latter falls to the writers, and Star Wars in particular is a very difficult space to navigate that, because this franchise has given us some of the best movie villains in all of history. Palpatine, Vader, and then there are those that are simply iconic. Darth Maul, Dooku, General Grievous. They really need to craft an interesting villain. I'm not saying there's any guarantee he's a dark side user or a force user altogether, but it's good if they've chosen Jesse Plemons because he knows how to portray complexity. His role in Breaking Bad proves it. I think with Star Wars villains, there needs to be a certain restraint. Obviously, it depends on the context. What kind of villain is this? Are they an underworld smuggler, the head of a criminal organization? Are they a Sith cultist, a dark Jedi, a fallen Padawan? Whatever the case, they've definitely got my attention with this. I'm intrigued. And I'll be honest, I've been very critical of many decisions made by Disney Star Wars, but since the acquisition, credit where it's due, the villains have generally been pretty solid. Not all of them. For instance, I didn't like all of the Inquisitors, but we've also had some amazing villains, like Baylan, Shin, General Pride, Kylo Ren, and even Chimera. I wasn't too big on the Acolyte, but he was a pretty cool character. So with this casting report, you already have someone like Plemons who is very versatile, and it makes him an excellent choice, I think, for the Star Wars universe. A galaxy which thrives on intricate characters, and my favourite type of villain is one who blurs the line between heroism and villainy. And I believe his extensive experience in both drama and dark comedy, like Fargo and Black Mirror, equips him with the ability to inject layers of humanity into his villains, making them relatable yet chillingly unpredictable. And I do strongly maintain that with the return of Star Wars movies, they need to wow us. This is definitely a good start. I don't want to get too excited. It's just a rumour and I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and this doesn't end up being the case. But if it's true, oh my goodness, this is perfect. I love this. Great actor and a great choice. And because we've seen a lot of him in recent years, it did cross my mind 1 or 2 times thinking he would be really great as like an Imperial officer or something like that. But now that I know he might be the main villain, that's even better. Whether it's pre-Force Awakens or post-Episode 9. But my curiosity with what's after the rise of Skywalker are the different groups that rise following the Battle of Exegol. Is there a New Republic? Does the Sith Eternal live on? Are there more Palpatine loyalists who have even darker motives? I really don't know how they're going to go about it, but like I say, my dear friends, Jesse Plemons is a fantastic choice. And something else which crossed my mind, don't you think it's very curious all of these casting reports are coming out before Star Wars Celebration? I wonder if there's going to be a full cast announcement, and a title and synopsis. Tell us when this is taking place. We know the director, we know the writer, we've had Ryan Gosling announced. The great news for this movie, unlike so many others, is there's actually movement. Everything is pointing towards an imminent production start date. That is amazing. Considering the rocky road Star Wars movies have had, and with The Mandalorian and Grogu really the only cinematic thing confirmed and in the bag, it's great to start feeling some excitement about what's coming further down the road, and knowing there seem to be definitive plans to make it happen. Again, with Lucasfilm you never know. There is a popular opinion that with no trailer there is nothing confirmed, but there is certain sign of life and the cogs are beginning to turn. I'm just a humble Star Wars fan craving feeling that excitement again. I know Lucasfilm can let us down, I know they've done it before, but there are more exciting things happening with the Shawn Levy movie than most of the other projects. Obviously Ahsoka Season 2, Andor is less than 2 weeks away, but in terms of movies, getting this caliber of talent, getting these names, it just does something that I haven't felt for a long time. I want new characters to be hyped about. We know to some extent it's going to center around Rey, but give us interesting villains, ones who are just so different and so out there, like nothing we've ever seen before. Same with the Jedi that Rey is going to train, assuming this is post-Episode 9. And one final thing, my dear friends, this update and all of the speculation that comes with it reminds me of the fan theorizing following the Force Awakens cast announcement, and oh boy were we wrong. We had names, but no characters yet, and it's so insane to look back and see the fan predictions for each of these actors. Oh my gosh, just look at Adam Driver as Jango Fett. Isn't that so cursed? Andy Serkis, well, they predicted Kino Loy, because that's way more Kino Loy than Snoke. And look at Donald Gleeson as a Jedi, with Obi-Wan's body. My goodness, that's cursed. And Carrie Fisher as Mon Mothma. I mean, she did play Mon Mothma in Family Guy. But yeah, we had no idea back then. Same as now. I mean, there's way less hype than there was for The Force Awakens, but who knows what the situation will look like by the time this movie actually comes out. But I want to know your thoughts. Are you excited about this? Jesse Plemons in Star Wars? Yay or nay? If you enjoyed this video, guys, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Check me out on socials. And may the Force be with you, always.